Hey guys, and welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about the Ben Affleck cancelled Batman movie. That new details have now emerged. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, stay up to date with all the movie news we have going on around here. So, while Affleck's Batman movie never happened, the cancelled DCEU film would have been a unique experience according to a massive DC insider. So yeah, it came out, years ago that Ben Affleck was going to write and direct his own solo Batman movie. And it was going to be like one of the best Batman movies ever made. And a lot of insiders were saying that, how fantastic and great it was going to be. And then it never came to fruition, which was really, really disappointing and really, really sad. Similar story to Man of Steel 2. That's another rant. We could go on about that all day. But yeah, let's jump in and see what details have emerged. So Jay Olivia, a DC storyboard artist, elaborates more on Ben Affleck's cancelled Batman movie. What a new DC universe is on its way. There are still many DCEU projects that almost happened, and one of them was Ben Affleck's Batman film, before it became a reboot for Robert Pattinson. Even though Affleck finished his Batman legacy with The Flash, many have still been wondering what would have become of his own project that he was set to direct and write. In the new interview with Inverse, Olivia, who did the storyboards and consulting on various DCEU projects, shared what he was allowed to say about Affleck's Batman movie. While hoping to be able to spill the beans in the future, Olivia stressed that Affleck was planning on building off of storylines in the Batman mythos over the last 80 years and approaching it from a new kind of perspective. To this day, Olivia wishes the film could have happened, and he stated the following: "I can't really say too much other than it was effing awesome. It was the best. It was amazing. From my understanding, there were a couple of drafts of it. When I was brought on, I don't know whether it was the second draft or something, but it was what Jeff Johns and Ben Affleck could show me. I've worked on a lot of Batman things. What was really cool about it was trying together a lot of really cool Batman storylines that had never been really explored. Ben's story was going to cover something that had never really been covered in comics, but was building off of storylines in Batman mythos over the last 80 years and approaching it from a new kind of perspective. So it was very clever, and there were a lot of things about it that really loved, and I wish that had come to fruition. It was a really great project in the beginning. Ben had stepped away for personal reasons, and I totally understand, but the time I'd spent with Ben working on the project was fantastic. Maybe someday I can spill the beans, but I still can't talk about it." So it sounds like this storyboard artist is still under a non-disclosure agreement of some sort, or some sort of contract that prevents them from talking about, projects that have happened behind the scenes that may not be publicly, the information may not be publicly available. There's still disclosure agreements probably in place with certain cast and crew where they can't talk about projects that, that they've worked on that weren't necessarily public, and, maybe were being developed but never amounted to much. Maybe they could pick up these storylines in the future, and that's maybe why they can't talk about it or go into much detail. But yeah, so we just got a storyboard artist here, basically saying that, it was one of the best things that they've worked on. They thought it was effing awesome. And yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool to hear about. So what details are known about Ben Affleck's cancelled Batman movie? Over the years, the number of details have been shared about where Affleck was going with his own Batman movie. One of the biggest aspects was Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, would have been the primary antagonist, with Joe Manganiello playing the iconic DC villain after his introduction into the Justice League. Manganiello had also shared that there would have been a war between Deathstroke and the Caped Crusader, and the latter had allegedly gotten the former's son killed. Yeah, so that would have been a super awesome storyline. You remember that scene that was reminiscent in one of the Batman movies, the container scene where Batman and Deathstroke are in the container shipyard and they're fighting each other on the shipping containers. To see a scene like that come into live action would just be absolutely incredible. And like seeing Ben Affleck's Batman, which in my opinion is still the best Batman to this day, that would have just been an incredible scene. And it's such a shame that we're not going to get that now. So, Affleck's Batman film would have also reportedly seen the return of various DCEU players such as J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, Jeremy Irons as Alfred Pennyworth, after briefly touching upon it in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Affleck's solo film was rumoured to be to elaborate more on the death of Robin. In this case, was going to be Dick Grayson rather than Jason Todd. There are also reports of how the script had influences from various Arkham Asylum comics, with a big focus on the famous mental institution. Hopefully a day will come when Affleck also talks about his Batman film in greater detail, as this was, for the longest time, one of the most hyped up DCEU projects of all time, especially because of the creative involvement. But based on the limited information that is already out there, it sounds like Affleck had something incredible in the works for his Batman project, Sadly, Affleck's Batman movie may never be discussed in elaborate detail. Yeah, it's a kind of a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to discussing this, because it's so raw for people who are fans of the DC fans of the Snyderverse, sorry, because it's kind of like, it's such a disappointment and a shame that the Ben Affleck solo Batman movie didn't happen. And I love hearing about new details and new people talking about it. But at the same time, it's like the more we talk about it, the more it hurts, because we know that we're never going to get to see it now. So yeah, it's kind of cool to hear about it, but it's kind of, the more I hear about it, the more it sucks that I'm never going to see it. It's like whenever I discuss Man of Steel 2 with anybody, in the fact that it's like, we're never going to get a Man of Steel 2, and it just kind of hurts to talk about. It's fun to talk about, but it kind of hurts because you're never going to get to see it. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a, bit of a double-edged sword there, guys. But yeah, so that's just a bit of an insider kind of take from a storyboard artist on the Ben Affleck cancelled Batman movie. What do you guys think about this? Were you hyped for seeing a Ben Affleck Batman solo movie? What did you think about that project? Was it something that you were going to be interested in seeing, or was it something you never really cared for? Jump down to the comment section, guys. Let me know what you think, and I will see you soon.